So here we have sample question number 2. The directions say simplify. So how do you simplify? Well, we're going to look to see if we have any matching factors. The first thing we have to see is, do we have any factors at all? Notice you don't see any multiplication symbols, so we're going to have to create some multiplication symbols. Remember, parentheses are multiplication symbols. So we're going to factor out the top to see if we can create those multiplication symbols. The top is AB minus 3A plus 5B minus 15. 4 terms. We'll always look for a GCF first. Notice there is no GCF. No matching parentheses. Some of them have letters, but this last term doesn't. Some of them have numbers, but this term doesn't. And it doesn't start with a negative. So we definitely know there's no GCF. We count the number of terms. Notice we have 4 terms. Anytime you have 4 terms, we always do what we call the grouping method. The grouping method is just parentheses around the first 2 terms, parentheses around the last 2 terms. Make sure the sign is included in the second set of parentheses. In the first set of parentheses, take out a GCF. Notice that you can take out an A. They both have an A. And then what's left over when you take out the A is going to be a B minus 3. In the second set of parentheses, you can see they don't have a letter in common, but they do have a number. Remember, 15 is 3 times 5, so they both have a 5. Since this starts with a plus, take out a positive 5. And then you can see what our leftovers are going to be. This divided by this gives you just B. Negative 15 divided by 5 gives you negative 3. When you have these match exactly, then you know you can take them out as one set of parentheses, and then your A plus 5 as your other. Now we're just done factoring out the top. The next step is to factor out the bottom. Notice it's the same 4 terms that we're going to have to do grouping now. There is no GCF. Some of them have letters, but this one doesn't. Some of them have numbers, this one doesn't. It doesn't start with a negative. And of course, there's no matching parentheses. So if we do the setup of 2 sets of parentheses around the first 2 terms and another set of parentheses around the last 2 terms, include the sign, you're going to just take out the GCF out of the first 2 terms instead of all 4 terms. Here you can take out the letter B, and you're left with C plus 2. Here you can take out a 3, but remember, if it starts as a negative, you must take that out as part of the GCF. Because if you don't take out a negative 3, you won't have C plus 2. Remember, negative divided by negative will give us the positive. They had to match exactly. They become one set of parentheses. And then this B minus 3 would be the other set of parentheses. So we factor out the top completely. We factor out the bottom completely. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 factors. With 4 factors, do we have anything that's the same? Yes, this factor, the binomial B minus 3, matches this one exactly. When they match exactly, you can cancel 1 on top with 1 on the bottom. These other 2 factors don't match at all. So you're going to keep the A plus 5 on top, and then the C plus 2 at the bottom. Because they're binomials, we cannot cancel out pieces. It's all or none. Since they don't match at all, you can't cancel any part of it. This is your final answer.